What is up, guys? Welcome back to episode number 11 today of the My Player Career Mode. And as we kickstart today's episode off, if you missed the other days or yesterday's was it up that went out, you will not know that Ben has signed a sponsorship deal for the next 2 seasons with Puma. So means that you can only wear Puma accessories, boots, etc. So, of course, from now on, we will only be able to use Puma boots. And they sent us through a new pair, which he ended up using in today's episode. It was there for you on the screen. Changed it from the black to black and red with a white Puma stripe. And also, there is some other boots in there which Ben is yet to unlock, basically. They're still in the works from Puma. So, right now, new boots from the Puma side of things. And we've got 3 games to come for you guys to watch. Ben featuring in all 3 of them. And let me say this, actually. I said to you in the previous episode that, of course, us getting through the round 3 of the FA Cup means that hopefully Ben will be able to showcase his ability against another Premier League team. It just so happens, guys, that Premier League club that Ben is playing against in the FA Cup 4th round happens to be Stoke City. So it's exactly the same team that knocked Ipswich out earlier on in the season in the Carabao Cup when Ben played in that one. However, it did go to extra time. So there's a chance today for redemption, a chance for revenge for the rest of the lads and Ben here at Ipswich to try and knock out Stoke of the more prestigious FA Cup rather than the Carabao Cup. So it'd be nice to get the last laugh there, I guess. Knock out Stoke, have Ben score the goal, and it would be a great way to continue on in the FA Cup. But truth be told, they've knocked us out once. I'm expecting it to be a similar situation later on. We'll have to see if that is going to be the case. But the first game today comes at the hands of Bolton Wanderers. That is the team on the screen that we had here at Ipswich. Ben involved again in this one. But it was Bolton, actually, who started off the brighter of the 2 sides. In Marcus Little, I think it is, down this right-hand side, gets the cross in towards the middle, and it was towards Amiobi, who got his header on target and really should have scored. But Bolton had a second chance just before the half-time whistle went. Again, a lot of the play was coming down the right-hand side for Bolton, and that also should have been another goal for Bolton there. But 66 minutes in, Ipswich grabbed themselves their first chance. Ben with it, trying to beat the keeper on his weaker right foot. Sadly, couldn't find the back of the empty, well, I say the empty now, it wasn't very empty, there's a keeper in the way. But you guys get what I'm saying, as the first game there came to a close with a boring 0-0 draw. So, disappointing way to start the episode off from Ben and Ipswich. However, having said that, it could have been a lot worse for them because Bolton did have their chances. You saw earlier on, the 2 chances they had, arguably, they should have scored both of them. So, yeah, I'm going to count our blessings there. Count a little bit fortunate here that Bolton didn't score and that Ipswich still managed to get a point, even if it is going to be a disappointing point to start things off. But regardless, it happens in football. And that now is something like Ipswich's 13th draw of the season, which is crazy. There's so many draws happening in this series that Ben just can't find that last little bit he needs to be able to win the game. So there you go. Confirmation of the result. Ben still playing to a 7.5 match rating though, so he had a decent performance in a game where otherwise it was very, very boring. And both teams, I guess, settling for their point either way. You can see the rest of the results there on the screen. Importantly, Wolves winning 2-1. Reading winning by 2 goals against Brentford, of course. We're trying to chase down Reading in that automatic promotion spot, 2nd place. And their win means that now we move further behind. I think Hull as well, they were playing the day after, or might have been the day before, so I didn't get to see their results. So as it currently stood, we were still having to chase Reading, and we lost ground on the chase of them. But out of that game into the next one, as I said, it comes against Stoke City at the Stoke City FC Stadium. And it is going to be, as I said, a chance at revenge for Ipswich and Ben. That is the team on the screen that we had here. It's going to be interesting to see what Stoke City play because they have splashed the cash ever so slightly in this window, January transfer window, which we're currently in, of course. And a few of you guys have been asking if Ben's going to move clubs. Right now, he's on loan at Ipswich, so it means that he's going to be here for the rest of the season no matter what. But we'll have to wait and see what's in store for the next window in the summer. But as I said, Stoke being a little bit busy in this window, they did bring in Christian Pulisic here from Borussia Dortmund. They spent a hefty amount of money on the 19-year-old as well. £30.2 million is what they paid for the USA international. And it was going to be a tough game because their team is slightly better than it was when we first played against them. So, yeah, it's going to be even more tough. They've got Butland in between the sticks as well, who's so difficult to beat in FIFA. And in general, he's a decent goalkeeper. So for Ben, looking at the Stoke team, I didn't really see a way that he and the rest of the Ipswich lads could get through this one here, especially with Pulisic playing after his big money move away from Dortmund to Stoke City. But 6 minutes in, Stoke really did show us what was in store here as Glenn Johnson plays it through to Luis. He gets on the end of this one here, runs into the area, he's not closed down quick enough and applies a left-footed finish to make the score Stoke City 1, Ipswich 0 inside the first 10 minutes of the game. So, as I said, it was one of those days where I was expecting us to lose. I wasn't expecting anything to happen for us. And in the end, it really didn't start off very well at all. Good finish from Luis. And I suppose you have to give credit to Stoke because Mark Hughes and Stoke gave us the respect that we probably deserve, you know, in playing a very strong squad against us. Didn't want to risk playing like a backup side or anything and getting potentially knocked out and having embarrassment here, as Wood ends up with a chance for himself, but a good stop from Jack Butland denies an equaliser in the game. So as I said, they showed us respect. You know, they named a good side, and truth be told, when I saw the team, I was like, okay, it's a very good side here as Pulisic is going to be in to make it 2-0. Great work from Choupo-Moting, scoring it, and there you go. So Stoke City's team, on paper, in my opinion, was better than that of the Ipswich team that we had. And you have to give credit to Mark Hughes, as I said. Not disrespecting us in any way, shape or form, making sure that he realises that Ipswich can cause danger. And so playing a very strong squad to get the job done here. And thus far, 40 minutes into the game, they were doing the job. And it looked like it was going to be a very bleak day indeed for the Ipswich Town faithful, who made the trip to Stoke to watch their team be 2-0 down at half-time, basically. Pulisic, as I said, making it 2-0 after his move over from Dortmund. So a decent start to Stoke life for him, but not quite for us, though. So moving in now into the second half, as we were 2-0 down going into it. And actually, Ben was substituted at half-time. I don't know if it was the manager not wanting to risk injury, realising they probably were already out here, and maybe he was just thinking and trying to focus on the championship. However, 10 minutes to go, a moment of, I guess, you know, worry for Stoke here, because we did pull one back. It did happen for us. We got at least one goal back here. The strike coming in, I think it was Sears, our number 20, who gets in behind here and applies a great finish, actually, into the bottom corner to beat Jack Butland. And with 10 minutes to go, the question marks are raised now. Could Stoke hold out and stop us taking this one to a replay? That was going to be the question here, as Freddie Sears, with 10 minutes to play, gave us a lifeline. But sadly, we couldn't get the job done. Ben not on the pitch, of course, having to watch from the sidelines. Saw his team put up a very valiant effort, but truth be told, as I said earlier, it was probably going to be one of the situations where we were going to go out regardless. So, yeah, a disappointing game from Ben. He only played at a 6-match rating, and as I said, he brought off probably to stop himself getting injured or something, as they do have a lot of games to play now in the Championship, and they just want to focus on trying to get automatic promotion out of it. So, yeah, I was expecting to lose that game. So, nothing really out of the ordinary there. So, for the second time this season, Stoke knock Ipswich out of a cup competition there. Some surprising results, actually, in that side of it. Cardiff beating West Ham by 2-0. Burnley drawing with Manchester United, taking that one to a replay as well. And there was a few other ones in there. But some good news for Ben, though. As soon as he left that game and the transfer window was done, deadline day, he was given the 3rd consecutive Player of the Month award. So 3 out of 3 now for Ben, and that is sensational. So surely he's going to have a lot of teams looking at him after having 3 back-to-back Player of the Month awards. You would like to think that teams will be looking at that going, I know, we're going to bring him in. Although he is like 82 rated right now and he's worth about 30 million, so whoever gets him is going to have to pay a pretty penny to Wolverhampton Wanderers to bring him into the club. So Wolves are set for a big payday if they do let him leave at the end of this season and join a different club. They're set for a nice payday, but into the third and final game now, guys, and as you can see, it is going to be Sunderland taking on Ipswich at this current time. Ipswich was 7 points behind the second place, and they had a game in hand. So if we want to really chase down, and we want to get that automatic promotion spot, even though Ben won't be an Ipswich player at the end of the season, then they're going to have to really dig deep and try their best to get a result here today. They want to try and get some momentum going, try and get a point on the board, or at least 3 points on the board, and then try their best, you know, kind of build on this and keep moving forward and try and get the momentum, as I said, building. So in this one, it was going to be tough, and Sunderland no slouches, of course. They've got a semi-decent team here, and it was actually them who got the first chance. Ben giving the ball away to Ndong, who had a really tough day, actually, Ndong. He had to defend against a very good Ben Wood here in a lot of good form. So as he won that ball there, I was pleasantly surprised as Vaughan then goes through to miss. So yeah, Ben against Ndong, it should have been a really good battle. He gets the better of Ndong, though, there, gets past him after a misplaced pass, feeds it into McGoldrick. McGoldrick's strike is well blocked, though, from the Sunderland defender there to deny it going on target, and that was a very, very good block. Take a look at it there. Takes it over the top of the crossbar from otherwise it might have been 1-0 to Ipswich. But Now we move into the next chance, guys, and it did come from the corner. Straight after we did that, Ben whips this one in. It's a fantastic header, actually, in the middle to direct it goalwards, and it came back off the top of the crossbar. I was so surprised when I saw that actually hit the bar, because he got a lot of power behind that, but it didn't really continue on for Ipswich, because they did give something cheap away, and Ndong found himself in a little bit of space, and you could have said that maybe Ben should have been marking his man, as Ndong technically on the day was chosen to man-mark Ben, so maybe Ben should have been doing the same job to Ndong. However, he didn't. Ndong picks it up on the edge of the area, gets brought down. I felt that that was a very harsh penalty to give away, but regardless, the referee does give it. Vaughan steps up for Sunderland, sends the keeper, or rather the keeper guesses right, but it was over the top of him and he couldn't make the save. So 32 minutes on the clock, Sunderland were leading the game against Ipswich, and it was Ndong winning the penalty. Arguably, as I said, maybe Ben should have been marking him, as Ndong was tasked to man-mark Ben all day long. And at the moment, it's not looking too good for us. As I said, we needed to get some momentum building and get some points on the board. So, yeah, to be 1-0 down here, we're going to have to dig deep and find something to bring us back into this one. And that's his 11th goal of the season here, James Vaughan, for Sunderland, which is a nice tally, but when you realise how many Ben's on, it's just as good as Ben's currently, and he's a midfielder. So, struck off half-time, it looked as if it was going to be 1-0 at the break, but then Ben picks the ball up, and Ndong, for the first time in a game, lets him have far too much space and time, and he picks out his spot brilliantly into the top corner. What a finish this is. But you have to give credit to Ben to shake off Ndong, and otherwise Ndong had a really good first half. He kept him quiet, he did his job. But he didn't do it right up until the end of the half, and that's what he needed to do, because as soon as you give Ben one sight of goal, he is going to make you pay, and that's exactly what he did. So a world-class finish from a world-class player, in my opinion, in the form of Ben Wood. It's his 12th goal of the season so far, one more than James Vaughan, who gave Sunderland the lead in this one, and that was the way the game did end. So 1-1 draw in this one. So far, 2 draws in the 2 league games we played and 1 defeat in the game that we played in the FA Cup. So not a good episode in terms of results, but for Ben, a very good episode in terms of his, kind of form. He gets Player of the Month. He ends up with a 7.5 match rating earlier on in the first league game. Ends up with an 8.5 match rating there. So the only disappointing one for Ben was that Stoke game. But overall, I would say it's been a decent episode for him. So if you've enjoyed this one, guys, a like, rate, we greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for all of your support on the channel. I really do appreciate it. And thank you for watching this episode. That's how the league table currently looks after ending it off, guys. So I'll see you all for another episode of this very, very soon. I'll see you all again at 6 p.m. UK time tonight, guys. Catch you all then. Adios.